first, the highlights. Politics of People's Democratic Party in Rivers State takes an interesting twist as clerk of the State Assembly rejects Honorable Edison Ehie's resignation. State Working Committee executives in Ondo State suspend chairman over anti-party activities as party national body declares their action null and void. Last abducted chairman of Akwanga local government area of Nasarawa State regains freedom. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Millicent Walker in Abuja. We begin with the chairman of the Progressives Governors Forum and Imo State Governor, Senator Hope Uzodinma, who has commended President Bola Tinubu for his generosity in sending over 3,000 bags of rice to Christians in the southeast through the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, for the celebration of the festivities. Well, speaking during the distribution and handing over of the bags to the CAN chairman of 5 states of the southeast in Owerri, the state capital. The governor says the gesture underscores the love the president has for the people of the southeast. We head over to River State, where Governor Siminalayi Fubara has been explaining the rationale behind the resignation of Edison Ehie, the leader of the 4 lawmakers loyal to him from the State House of Assembly. According to the governor, the decision was part of the implementation of the peace deal brokered by the president and is considered to be in the interest of the state and not out of fear. Governor Fubara, who was speaking at the New Year's Day banquet at the Government House in Port Harcourt, noted that residents would have been the biggest casualties if political crisis had persisted.
Every decision that we have taken, it is not born out of fear, but because we have the interests of our people. And we have respect for elders. The president requested that we do certain things, in as much as it might not be very comfortable with everyone that is here. But it's the place of the leader to say, let us go along with it. Because if we don't have peace in the states, there won't be that meaningful development that we desire. So I'm appealing to everyone. Let us embrace the peace. We need this peace because our intention for our state is not because of our own personal interests. It's for the interests of everyone, the interests of the development of our state. So when we are faced with this type of situation, we consider the actions and reactions. Who is going to suffer? Fubara will not suffer. I can assure you that. But 1 million supporters will suffer. So those decisions are decisions we took because we want you to still be afloat. We want you to see me as your governor and be happy.
Well, staying with River State, the River State House of Assembly has refuted the letter of resignation as Speaker of the House, written by Honourable Addison Ehie, a member representing Ahuda East Constituency 2 in the Assembly. Now, in a letter signed by the Clerk of the State House of Assembly, Emeka Madi, it claims that Ms. Ehie cannot resign from the position of Speaker of the House when he never occupied the position in the first place. The statement also notes that the Martin Amewule is the rightful elected speaker and the only person who can lay claim to the position. And this is despite the fact that a High Court sitting in Port Harcourt last month affirmed Mr. Ehie as Speaker of the River State House of Assembly. That is the statement there from the Clerk of the House. But joining us on the political situation in River State is Prince Azubike. He's a legal practitioner, and Mr. Azubike joins us virtually from Rivers. Thanks for joining us. It appears that the political drama in the state in 2024 is just beginning to unfold. And when we thought, things had settled a bit, what do you make of this letter written by the Clerk of the River State House of Assembly saying that Addison Ehie was never Speaker of the House, insisting that Martin Amewule was the only constitutionally elected Speaker?
Okay, thank you for having me. I count it a great privilege for having me in this political program this new year. Like you rightly pointed out, the issue with respect to the speakership of the River State House of Assembly has been an issue that has been submitted to adjudications by both parties. We have a suit pending at the Federal High Court Abuja with respect to the suspension of the 25 members of the River State House of Assembly, rightly led by Honorable Martin Amewule, the factional speaker. And we equally have a suit pending here in Port Harcourt before my Lord, the Honorable Justice M.W. Danagogo, a suit filed by Right Honorable Ehie, the factional speaker of the River State House of Assembly. Now, one thing is clear in this suit, the issue of the speakership of the River State House of Assembly, and that has been very, very key in all these suits as filed. Now, we saw a letter on the 28th of December by Right Honorable Ehie with respect to his resignation as the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly and also his membership of the House. Now, the Clerk of the House, Dr. Amadi, has written facts as stated in the letter by Honorable Ehie that he was never a Speaker of the House. Now, resolving this issue obviously is a constitutional question. Section 102 of the Constitution, Section 102 and Section 106, talking about the office of the Speaker of the House, circumstances under which it can be the holder of that office will relinquish that position, and also circumstances under which a member of the House will lose his seat in the River State House of Assembly or any other House of Assembly, as provided in Section 106 of the Constitution. These are constitutional questions. The Speaker, the factional Speaker, as it were, or the former Speaker, if you want to go by the letter he was, that is no longer a member of the House. There is nothing wrong with that letter. There is no law compelling him to continue his office, having been elected as a member representing Ahoda Constituency 2 in the River State House of Assembly. No such law compels him to continue that office. So where he chooses not to. Yes, I'm with you. I'm hearing you.
Yes, I was just going to ask now, would you say that, in this light, in light of what you said, that the clerk has perhaps taken sides? Is it the side of the law, the side of the former governor, or the side of the River State governor?
The letter written by the clerk obviously is not in tandem with the position of the governor. Are you with me? Are you hearing me?
Go ahead, please.
Yes, the letter written by the clerk, Dr. Amadi, is not in tandem with the position of the governor. All this was in this crisis started. The governor has recognized Honorable Ehie as the Speaker of the House of Assembly. There's no two ways about it. The 2024 budget was presented to the Ehie faction of the House, which they considered, and the governor assented it as the appropriation law for the year 2024. So there is no question respect to who the governor recognizes as a speaker. When you look at it's important that they take these steps in order for peace to reign in the state. So the position of the clerk is trying to protect the interest, the institution of the House of Assembly. I wouldn't want to see him as towing towards the part of Honorable Martins Amehuli, as it were. He's the clerk of the House. Yes. So he's trying to protect the institution. The House is an institution. So he's trying to protect that institution. And he has said that
responsibility or that of the judiciary.
Sorry?
Is that his responsibility as clerk of the House or that of the judiciary, which would mean the law?
Obviously, the position, it's the judiciary, the position of the courts. The judiciary, of course, takes precedence or supersedes that of the clerk of the House, whosoever is trying to protect his interest. But one thing is clear here in the letter. It raises an issue of impersonation, which I think it's off it. The court recognizes Eye as the speaker within the period he served prior to his resignation. And he carried out functions. So when that part of that office, he carried out activities or duties connected to that office. So I wouldn't want to argue.
Yeah, Mr. Azubike, if you can hear me, some have argued that that particular decision or in court as at December, which affirmed Ehie as, as the speaker, was like an interim order, which perhaps has elapsed. Speak to that, and that's in light of, perhaps what the clerk is saying, openly refuting him as speaker.
I didn't appreciate your comment in that regard, please. Can you reiterate?
So what I was talking about was the December judgment that some have said is essentially an interim order and which seems to have elapsed. Speak to that, because that's where Ms. Ehie was said to be the Speaker of the House.
Okay. Okay, yes, correct. It was an interim order, but the last time the matter came up in court, I was in court myself, the court ordered that parties still maintain the status quo. So even though by default, after 7 days, they said interim order lapses, but the court in its inherent jurisdiction has extended that order pending the hearing of the motion of notice. So that order subsists pending when the motion to either vacate the order of court or determine the interlocutory issues as raised in the interim order is determined. So that order is still live because the court in its inherent jurisdiction extended the order till when the 23rd of January this month, the matter will be coming up again. So pending when the matter comes up that date, that will now determine the dimension or the direct. So to that extent, that order is still alive.
And to that extent, who would you say is the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly as we speak? Mr. Speaker, are you still with us? Okay,
yes, I am. I'm hearing you. I'm with you now.
Okay, great. So, based on what you've just said, if we were to say today who the authentic Speaker of the River State House of Assembly is.
If you can repeat your...
We appear to be having a terrible connection with the lawyer who's joined us from Rivers, Prince Azubike, talking about the situation in River State. But I'm just told that another guest has just joined us, also a legal practitioner, Leslie Ejeku. Hoping this connection's much better. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Welcome. You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me too.
Just getting your thoughts. If you listened to my conversation just a moments ago with Mr. Azubike, do you agree with all he has said?
I wasn't hearing so clearly, but I know it surrounds the issue of the resignation of Right Honorable Edisine here,
yes,
as said, the reported Speaker and member of the River State House of Assembly.
Well, perhaps not quite that. More with what we've heard from the clerk, who has said that, Ehie is not the rightful Speaker of the House, saying he's trying to put the facts out there. In a letter signed, the clerk of the River State House of Assembly says that Mr. Ehie cannot resign from position of Speaker that he never occupied.
Mr. Edisine here was never Speaker of the River State House.
Can you hear me, Mr. Ejeku? Okay. All right. So you're saying that, just to clarify your position on this, you're saying that the clerk has done the right thing and that Honourable Ehie cannot lay claim to speakership. But what do you make of the interim order as of December? Yes, just your thoughts, what you had mentioned, saying that the clerk did the right thing, saying that Mr. Ehie, Honourable Ehie, cannot lay claim as Speaker. What I'm asking you is, with regards to the interim order that came out in December that recognized Mr. Ehie as Speaker.
That order of court or that judgment of court. Right Honorable Martin, judgment of court. Right.
We appear to be having challenges with our audio with this very interesting conversation, but let's take a break, see if we can sort this out, and we'll be back with more political stories. Stay with us. Welcome back to the program. We'll move on to other stories. The Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party in Ondo State has suspended the chairman, Fatai Adams, over allegation of anti-party activities and engaging in an act likely to bring the party to disrepute. In a statement signed by the 9 state executives, they advised the suspended chairman to appear before the State Disciplinary Committee of the party for further interrogation within the next 1 week. However, the party re-emphasized that it will deal decisively with any incursion by the ruling party. Staying with party politics, the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has dismissed the purported suspension of the chairman of the Ondo State chapter of the party, Mr. Fatai Adams. In a statement by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Debo Olugunagba, the National Working Committee declared the said suspension as null and void and of no effect, not being consistent with the provisions of the Constitution of the PDP as amended in 2017 and laid down rules. According to Mr. Olugunagba, no state working committee has the power whatsoever to contemplate or suspend a state chairman without due recourse to the National Working Committee as provided by the Constitution of the PDP. The State Working Committee of the party in Ondo State had announced the suspension of the state chairman, alleging anti-party activities. And we head to Kaduna State, where Governor Sani has inaugurated a special implementation and monitoring committee to ensure accountability and transparency in the disbursement of all interventions provided to victims of the December 3rd, 2023 military airstrike in Tundumbiri community in Igabi local government area of the state. Inaugurating the committee at the Executive Council chamber, Governor Sani lauded the proactive interventions by relevant agencies in the aftermath of the drone attack and further reiterated the need for accountability and openness in the disbursement of funds and other special interventions provided for the people of Tundumbiri community. The governor explains that the committee will develop a database of the surviving victims injured and next of kin to those that died in the military airstrike. It will take inventory of all donations and develop a framework for disbursement of funds to the affected victims.
We have commenced the construction of access roads to Tundumbiri and other affected communities in the area. The National Assembly members, as well as leadership of both the House and the Senate, Nigerian Governors Forum, Northern Senators Forum, corporate organizations, and well-meaning Nigerians have made donations and announced interventions programs aimed at bringing succor to the distressed community, rebuilding the community, and giving the people renewed hope and sense of security. As a responsible and accountable government, we must take keen interest in how donations and interventions programs for the Tundumbiri community are disbursed and executed. We want to ensure that the donations go to the actual beneficiaries. We want to monitor the implementation of the projects to ensure their speedy and effective implementations. This committee has therefore been constituted for the purpose of accountability, inclusivity, and transparency. The committee will serve as the implementation and monitoring mechanism for Tundumbiri projects and funds.
With security, the Christmas Eve attacks, which claimed the lives of about 200 people in Plateau State, could not have been as a result of firmer herder crisis. This is the submission of governors under the aegis of the North Central Governors Forum, who have blamed the incident, what they describe as sheer act of criminality, which must be treated as such. Chairman of the forum, Governor of Nasarawa State, Mr. Abdullahi Sule, stated this when he led two of his counterparts, Reverend Father Hyacinth Alie of Benue, Omar Bago of Niger, on the condolence visit to Plateau State, where they donated 100 million naira for the victims of the attack. Now to the North Central. Chairman of Akwanga local government area, Nasarawa State, Safiano Issa, and three others who were abducted have regained their freedom. The spokesperson of the Nasarawa State Command, Police Command, that is, DSP Rahman Nansel, confirmed the release to Channels Television via telephone. He said Mr. Issa and three others were released at about 8:45 p.m. on Tuesday in Andaha village of Akwanga local government area. Mr. Nansel added that they were released as a result of sustained pressure from combined security agencies. After their release, Mr. Issa and three others are receiving medical treatment, medical attention at the Federal Medical Center, Kefi. The chairman and three others were abducted by gunmen at about 8:30 p.m. on Monday in Ningo village of Akwanga local government area. A former Deputy Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, Dr. Ramon Yusuf, is calling on the federal government to set up a committee to investigate the phenomenon of fake certificates by some individuals who claim to obtain degrees outside the shores of the country. Dr. Yusuf also wants the NUC to collaborate with regional educational institution regulators in order to verify the authenticity of universities awarding those certificates. He was a guest on our political program, Politics Today.
In many Francophone African countries, they do not have national quality assurance agencies equivalent to the National Universities Commission. However, they have an agency called CAMES, That is the African and Malagasy Council for Higher Education. That body is responsible for all the 19 Francophone African countries in terms of quality assurance of all their bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees, in addition to the promotion of professors and recruitment of academics. There are many universities in Nigeria that do not have accreditation to offer medicine, MBBS. Yes, they are approved universities. You find their names among the list of approved universities that NUC publishes every week. But see, so when somebody asks you, is this university approved? The answer could be yes, but the question should be approved to do what? So what the ministry needs to do now, in addition to what efforts the Honorable Minister is making, is to ensure that going forward, any qualification presented by Nigerian for Benin Republic, Togo, wherever, Ghana, Niger, they should refer that qualification to CAMES in Ouagadougou, because CAMES has the records of all the accredited programs in the accredited universities in the 19 Francophone African countries.
Meanwhile, the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, is calling for a reassessment of the decision to suspend accreditation of degree certificates from universities in Benin Republic and Togo. In a statement, NANS notes that the suspension has affected lots of students who are duly registered and have invested in their education, many of whom have completed the specified years of study. It maintains that others have successfully graduated and are eagerly awaiting the approval of the evaluation list to participate in the National Youth Service Corps program. And you've been served lunch today on Channels Television. Thank you for watching. Apologies on the audio challenges we had earlier. We thank our guests for joining us. I'll see you again tomorrow. I'm Millicent Nwaka.